Hello and welcome to the official start of spooky season. I've been well into spooky season for a couple of weeks now, but this is now the socially acceptable time to be celebrating the start of fall. This is my favorite time of year for reading because I love to dive into all of the atmospheric reads, lots of horror, lots of gothic, all the vampires, as well as all of the really fun like small town paranormal romances. I absolutely adore those, so I've got a whole whack of those on my TBR. My list is unreasonably long. I'm not fully intending to read all of these. I'm also not going to mention every single one of them because it's basically just my entire horror shelf on Goodreads. I have a little stack of just the ones that I own that I would like to prioritize because I really need to read more books off of my actual shelves. So I'm going to get into what I'm planning on reading for like all the challenges and book clubs and that kind of thing for this month. And then the rest is going to be all the seasonal reads, which will be mainly my TBR for the next 3 months. And I'll just kind of pick and choose whatever I happen to be in the mood for and have access to from the library. So without further ado, let's get into the books. I am filming this on September 3rd, and I've been having a really good couple of days for reading. So I've already finished a few books, which includes the first one on my list, which is The Paradox Hotel by Rob Hart. This one I'm reading for the in-person book club that I'm part of. I'm still going to include it in the TBR, even though I've already read it, but that's besides the point. For the Cozy Quill book club this month, we're reading The Enchanted Greenhouse by Beth Durst. This is the author of The Spell Shop, which I read last year and loved it. It was so cute and sweet. This is not a direct sequel, but it is set in the same world and follows a character that we are vaguely introduced to in the first book, but this can be fully read as a standalone. My buzzword books, I'm a little unsure of as of right now. The buzzword challenge is to read a book with an event word in the title. I have a few options, but none of them are really calling to me. I think I'm probably going to go with Boys Weekend, which is a graphic novel, but I'm not fully set on that just yet. And then the buzzword covers challenge is for a book with foliage. I don't have an exact one set for this one because there are so many books that fit that prompt, especially considering I'm very much in the mood for gothic horror novels right now, and there's bound to be a leaf or a tree somewhere on there. Last up for book clubs and challenges. For those challenges that Goodreads does every couple of months, I have one left that I have to complete before the middle of September, and that is The Saint of Bright Doors. This is my current read. I'm not too far into it yet though. I'm not entirely sure on the synopsis yet, but it has to do with doors, and I believe they are portal doors, which I am so here for. Portal fantasy is my jam, so I can't wait to get more into this one and see where it goes. For this month's episode of Backless Bash, I only have 4 books left on my TBR that were added in 2020, so those 4 will be featured in this month's episode, and those include Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, The Once and Future Witches by Alix Harrow, The Near Witch by VE Schwab, and Witches Steeped in Gold by Ciannon Smart. So all 4 of those ones are hopefully, ideally, going to be read for Backless Bash this month, especially this one. I have been meaning to read this book for so goddamn long and just keep not getting around to it. Every year at this time, I intend to get to it and then I just don't. But this is the perfect book for this time of year, as is this one. So I'm happy that I unintentionally saved these 2 books for this episode of Backless Bash in September, so this is perfectly the time of year to pick up both of these ones. Speaking of VE Schwab, I have a whole bunch of sequels that I want to get to. My goal this year is to keep my ongoing series down, and I have royally failed at that. So every month I've been chucking on a whole bunch of sequels to the TBR, and once again, Vengeful is on the TBR. Will this be the month that I read it? Who knows? We'll find out. And we already know the same is going to be for The Faithless Hawk by Margaret Owen and Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Laini Taylor. These are both also going on the TBR once again. I'll get to them eventually, hopefully this month. I kind of doubt it, but I'll do my best. I'm also putting on the 3rd and final book in the Binti trilogy by Nnedi Okorafor, as well as Faithbreaker by Hannah Kaner, which is the last book in the Godkiller series. I have this out from the library right now, so I do have to get to this fairly soon. I'd also like to get to Longshadow by Olivia Atwater. This is the 3rd and final book in, I forget what the actual series is called, but the first book is Half a Soul. I'd like to finish out that series, and then finally for the sequels, I would like to get to Stay in the Light by A.M. Shine. This is the sequel to The Watchers, which I read a couple months ago, and I figured this time of year would be a great time to add on a horror sequel. The first book was just okay, but I'm hoping the second book can improve on some of the things that fell flat for me in book one. And now we are going into the mood reads. I'll start with the ones that I currently have on hold from the library, and those are going to be coming in within the next couple of weeks. Not a spooky season read, but Love and Focus by Lyla is going to be coming to my Libby app in the next 2 weeks. This one is a queer contemporary romance. I've also got Pumpkin Spice and Poltergeist by Ali K. Mulford and K.L. Morrison coming to my Libby in the next couple of weeks. Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man should be arriving in September. It'll be closer to the end of September, so that might be an October read, but could be this month. We'll see. But that is, of course, the sequel to Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. I think I got the title right. And also potentially coming towards the end of September is Zom Rom-Com by Olivia Dade, who's the author of Spoiler Alert, which I read years ago and loved that series, so I'm looking forward to seeing what else she has to do. And this one is a zombie romance. I am not a fan of zombies typically, but I do like this author, so I figured I would give it a shot. And now the rest of these ones are just strictly my spooky season reads that are going to carry me over for the next few months. I'm not going to go over all of them because there are a lot. Then that would be a little ridiculous to go over all of those, so I'm not going to do that. But I do have a pile of ones that I own physically that I figured would be easy enough to go over quickly. So An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. This one needs to happen. I am obsessed with A Dowry of Blood. I reread it almost every year, and I've yet to read this one, and I desperately need to. So this one is for sure happening. Whether it's this month or next month, I'm not really sure, but the goal is this month. The Daughter of Dr. Moreau by Sylvia Moreno-Garcia. This is also very high on the priority list. I love this author, and it's been far too long since I've read anything from her. Evil in Me by Brahm. This cover is badass, and the concept sounds even cooler. I'm not entirely sure on the plot, but I know it has to do with demons and rock and roll. And this will also be my first book from this author, so I'm looking forward to finding out what all the hype is about. Model Home by Rivers Solomon. I love me a good haunted house story, and this one sounds phenomenal. So this one, again, also very high on my priority list for this month, because again, I'm really trying to prioritize books that I actually own and have paid for with my own money. So I need to actually read them. This one I bought recently with the intention of reading it around this time of year, so I need to actually do that, and I will. I swear it. Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas. This one sounds incredible. I've heard that it's very gothic and atmospheric. It's slow and historical, which is just perfect for this very rainy, gloomy time of year. So hopefully I'll get to this one as well. I'd like to get to book 2 in the Vampire Chronicles series by Anne Rice, which is The Vampire Lestat. I read book 1, I think earlier this year, and really enjoyed it, so I can't wait to carry on. This time of year is also perfect for Anne Rice, so this needs to happen as well. This is also a, 12 book series, so I really need to carry on with this series. Finally, for ones that I own, Under the Fang by Robert R. McCammon. This is a vampire anthology from authors that I've never heard of before, but I found this book at a thrift store for $2.50. So I picked it up and I figured, why not give it a shot? And I've been saving it for this season. So those are the ones that I physically own, but again, I've got a whole gigantic list of other ones that I'm hoping to get to that would be over audiobook or ebook. No idea which ones yet. It'll just be whatever happens to come up first and that are currently available in the next couple of weeks. So I am so ready for a good, fun, spooky time, and I can't wait to dive into all of the seasonal reads and just fully enjoy the season to the best of my abilities. The weather is just starting to get gloomy and rainy and gray. The leaves are getting crunchy, and I am living my best life. I'm so happy. But yeah, that should do it for the September TBR. Let me know what you're planning on reading for the start of spooky season. If you have any special plans for it, even if you're not a seasonal reader, still let me know what you're planning on reading. I would love to hear your thoughts. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I will catch you in the next video.